Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Steel Twins recording studio in the cherry capital of the world, Traverse City, Michigan. Introducing your hosts, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins.
What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, baby.
We are live and in public with another session of voice acting. Our boy Blade King is here. Maddie's here. Hi. Welcome.
Welcome indeed. Well, looks like
you guys are just in time for tea, so let me set this thing up.
Yeah.
I just got home from, I got done with jiu-jitsu practice, so I'm a little...
little banged up.
Not banged up, just, tuckered out, but I mean in the good way. In the good way. I'm nice and refreshed. So, thank you so much for coming by yet again. So, just to catch you up to speed here.
Hey, Alex, welcome to the chat as well.
What's up? Yep.
Oh my god, thank you for your support.
Sorry, had to do that.
Had to do some quick mic checks.
Yep.
So, Phoenix Wright has met Maya Fey once again. So, they caught up. It's like old times. But just like old times, Maya Fey has now been arrested for murder.
Again.
Again.
That's the third time this whole series.
Third time the charm? Not to this attorney.
Mm-mm.
So, after a brief investigation, we have another suspect in mind. So, we are now going to a Kuhra'inese trial against prosecutor Nayuda Sadmati. Yeah, Phoenix is stuck with it right now. So, hope you sit back and relax and put your tray tables up. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and lead us in. It's been a long, hard road for me, so I'm going to chug one of these. Well, not chug, but if you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your drink, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off a package. What time is it?
Yeah, it's time to get bombed.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
Oh. Wow, does that hit the spot?
I know, right?
Holy smokes.
Yes, sir. Real life news today. Alex has recently bought a new desk, and it is coming here to our studio sometime next week.
Yes. So we're very excited to have a little upgrade. We'll put an unboxing video out. We'll probably put, something together of us putting the thing together at high speed. But we'll send pictures. But yeah. We're looking to get a little,
new desk indeed, yes.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll make our setup a little more professional. I mean, more professional than it already is.
All right, well, without further ado, let's go to live scene.
Live scene. We already got everything lined up, and I'm gonna crack this water bottle because
he's thirsty.
A son of a bitch be thirsty around here.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I gotta love me some wild cherry Pepsi Zero.
Lucky bastard. Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, just had some.
I've been off the soda for a while, or at least I'm trying to get off of it. Yeah. So So okay. Right. So we are set to go to trial. It's day one of the Right of Turnabout. So just pull up your tray tables and let's get going.
Good news. The check cleared. It's go time.
I may not be 100% of my game, but I'm going to give it 95.
All right. Me too.
Andrew can give it 100 because he hasn't been working out.
Right. May 11th, 9:40 a.m. High Court of Kuhra'in, accused lobby.
I wasn't too far off with the spelling.
Right.
I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. But if I can figure out Lady Keeta's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe.
Nick, today
don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got.
You would do well to cease this insanity while you still can.
As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court.
Damn right, Blade King, it's showtime.
Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused.
I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found.
The truth, you say? Huh. Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial.
Nick. I'm gonna prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right?
Right. I may be a defendant this time, but I'll be by your side like always, Nick.
Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I'll need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Well, it's time. Let's go! Yeah, you heard the man. Let's get going. Da-da-da-da-da! Charge!
May the 11th.
May the 11th. High Court of Kuhra'in. Hey, tag out. You're Prosecutor Sagmati today.
Sounds good to me. All rise. Court is now in session. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin.
The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Huh?
Why don't you be the judge?
Quiet. Can't you see Prosecutor Sadmati is absorbed in silent prayer? Great. The trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me.
He's very devout for a prosecutor.
Why is the accused standing over there?
Well...
Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Very well, then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul.
That wasn't very nice.
Buckle up, sister. It only gets worse from here. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seems to be a custom of sorts here in Kuhra'in. I must say, I am surprised to see you still here in Kuhra'in, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Well, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now.
Such foolishness.
Prosecutor Sadmati, are you ready to begin now?
Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation.
Splendid. I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Sadmati.
Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Sadmati.
Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you.
So, it was you who instilled that putrid lawyerly guile within him.
Putrid What?
He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives.
Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's give this everything we've got, Nick. Now then, Prosecutor Satmadi, would you please explain the case at hand?
Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Trust in Me.
Again, stupid name.
He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain.
And the cause of death?
Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbad dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched.
A sacred relic used as a tool of murder? The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe.
The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Keeta's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Kuhra'inese. During the rite, the victim and the accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey.
Again, locked room, only two people. I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused.
Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case.
Inner sanctum diagram added to the court record. A diagram of the scene of the high priest's murder. It shows where the lanterns and the Warbad statue are.
Let's see, who else is this? Enough with the
puns. You're getting on our nerves.
Right.
Oh, there's plenty more to where that came from, Blade King, unfortunately. They'll be sprinkled here and there, though, so no need to worry.
In Kuhra'inese, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling.
Oh my God. Although that, for some people, that truly is hell.
Yep. There, she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years.
What? I don't believe this. You just made that up, didn't you?
No way.
That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond? And here I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain.
I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it.
As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place.
Objection. I thought you might say that. I didn't know where that came from. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence, Rafa Pama Kuhra'in's insights.
So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess.
Here she comes.
Here we go.
Her benevolence herself. graces us with her presence.
It's Princess Rafa. Oh, how beautiful her benevolence looks again today.
Glory to the Holy Mother for this blessed day.
Popular as ever, I see.
Rest assured, good people of Kuhra'in, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on their freedom express today.
What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Urdiara Kuhra'in.
Urdiara Kuhra'in.
She sure looks pleased with herself, especially for someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday.
Is there something stuck to my face, bobbed head?
No, nothing, Your Benevolence. Now then, Your Benevolence, the divination seance, if you please.
Very well. Nana, my robe.
Alright, here we go. Take it away, Rafa. Try not to say anything.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
I like it when sometimes the voice actors themselves take over their dialogue a little bit. Just sometimes. You know?
I dig it.
Yeah.
It's a load off our back, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, Dance of Devotion, round 2. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Hey, here we go. Oh.
Well then.
All right, so get a look.
All right, let's have a look at this this scene here. This is the
Okay, so this is what he saw. So he's doing his prayer
to the left,
to the left, to the right, to the window, to the wall.
Now he's reading a script.
Something's happening. Wind.
Okay, there's the wind. Footsteps.
Incense. Pain. Now he walked towards. Did he walk towards? Who walked towards who there?
I think, I don't know.
The victim's Mitama has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. Now, hold on a second. He was reading his paper and he came down and Lady Keeta was standing in front of him, right? Mm-hmm. But how can we be so sure that Maya was the one that donned the robes?
Yeah.
She passed out, remember?
Yeah, she passed out, so there's got to be something different.
Got to be something different going on here.
Yep. It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Keeta and then attacked the victim.
Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Keeta lit against the dim lantern light, the scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbot in me must have felt.
The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable.
I beg to differ.
But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick.
I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle.
The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite.
Come to think of it, the Wright's Guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. Let's take a look at it. All right, so here's the screen, right?
Right.
High priest is there, priestess is there, curtain's there.
Now remember, the full moon is over that other peak.
Yeah, the full moon is over that other mountain. That's that's why they do this. Mm-hmm. Now it says here the purification rite is a 3-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony.
It begins with the transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Keeta, which had been purified with incense.
So that kind of makes sense. I mean, that's what he was doing. The high priest was reading his scripture, and then the Lady Keeta robes come on. Step 2.
Next is the rite of water, in which the priestess enters the spring dressed as Lady Keeta, and the high priest purifies both Lady Keeta and her dagger.
The ceremony ends with the rite of fire, in which the priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul.
The two then devote themselves to prayer until the rite comes to a close 2 days later at noontime.
So basically, the whole thing's a fancy way for Lady Keeta to take a bath once a year. Must be nice to be her. So anyway. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Keeta. The rite of water. Lady Keeta enters the spring and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul.
Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Can we look at that again? That diagram. Well, the broken lantern was over there.
Yeah.
So, now... okay, footsteps. There were footsteps. So, anyway.
Well, Bobhead, would you care to object?
Of course, because I know my client is innocent.
So you say. You truly do not know when you are beaten, do you?
I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insights yet again. It would seem lawyers are Pulkanin creatures indeed. Look at that Pulkanin. What exactly is a Pulkanin?
Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak.
Change the word work to a different word, and you have the idea.
Yeah.
They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth.
So, Bobhead, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave.
All right, then.
All right.
Rafa's insight. Pay attention.
Now pay attention.
Rafa's insight.
The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes.
Think about that sentence for a second. There may be a contradiction there.
Yeah, because where were the footsteps coming from, though? Where did they go? Were they going away?
I think they were going away. I think there's like one footstep, and there was nothing. There was nothing when someone's going towards them.
Well, let's keep going.
It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world.
And keep in mind, folks, that water was red before the seance even began.
Really?
So his blood did not sully the water.
Right.
That water was already red.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments.
Intersective diagram updated in the court record.
And go ahead. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Keeta, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer.
Yes, it is plain for all to see.
No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Keeta's robes. What if Terostamie turned around?
Well, no, he didn't. Well, he didn't turn around.
You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess's divine insights.
Oh, how did you end up finding contradictions last time? All right, here we go.
The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses.
Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim.
Yeah, that's how it looked to me, too. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights the last time.
So there could be contradictions between what Abbott and me felt and her insights, huh?
You got it. And I'm gonna find them this time. Too. Should I check out how to point out contradictions in Rafa's insights?
Up to you.
I'm okay. I'll just let story mode do it. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Alby's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on changes in their intensity, too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. Well, I can already tell which one I want to attack first.
All right, so
The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra.
as the first part, the transformation rite ended and he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, so this is the Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. Stop right there. Left. I think there's a contradiction with the footsteps and the sound. Go back. Okay. Try story mode again. Let's see what it says. So it points to that he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes.
He also felt wind. Yeah,
There was wind.
yeah.
So,
There's the wind.
Objection!
The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really?
What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear?
No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps.
Strange? Explain yourself, Bobhead.
The footsteps are strange because
They don't
they
get
don't get louder.
Yeah, they don't get louder.
They're not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, Your Benevolence?
Well, there must be a reason.
Objection. It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn.
What does that even mean?
He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your Benevolence, perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's mitama.
Listen more carefully. What's he talking about?
Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation.
Refine the sensation?
I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the mitama.
I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before?
By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered.
Alright, here we go.
Oh, blessed mitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call.
And he put bells. Yeah, because he had bells around his ankles.
Footsteps changed into bells. What could this mean? Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were...
That jiggling must have come from Abbot bells.
You mean those big things he had on his ankles?
Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps.
Then that means...
If the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. Oh, I thought that's what was going on. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe.
Inner sanctum diagram updated in the court record.
But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Keeta standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked.
What in the world?
Still your voices! This is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that! Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation!
Objection. While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, Your Benevolence.
Is this something you would care to say, Prosecutor Sudmati?
Even if it was Abbot in me who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime.
What do you mean?
The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It's as simple as that.
Oh, right. Really doesn't change much, does it?
Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well.
Right. That's why you were so shocked when you first heard it.
Understand now, lawyer? That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I heard my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun.
Insight revised. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Now,
Which,
hold on a
I
minute.
don't know about that, because I didn't see no broken lantern in there.
As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed until finally he passed from our world. But that's it.
See? The fact that it was Abbott in me who moved changes nothing.
Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. Stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. Should focus on any sensations that have changed while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights.
All right, let's see what story mode says.
Victim
All right, stand by.
right?
He rushed. So the statement in question is he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. But is there a broken lantern and that's at that time?
Wind. Bells. Water.
Water. Oh.
Yeah, she was running from the thing. He was running from the fountain. Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be?
That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbott and me would have adhered to them.
Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point.
What's this?
It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water.
Oh?
Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction.
What contradiction?
I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Well, Conka, that is absurd. This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates.
Ah!
Then where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Keeta's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here.
On the spring?
Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbott Inmee and Ms. Fey were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this rite's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Ms. Fey had actually been standing in the water. Oh, but if this is true, then the positions would have been completely reversed. Inner sanctum diagram updated in the court record.
Again.
What is going on? What is going on here, Miss Fey? Were you really standing in the spring?
I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite.
The High Priest would never make such obvious blunder during a rite.
What on earth? Is that even possible?
That's enough!
That's enough! Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights.
It doesn't?
Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what?
So what? This completely reverses their positions is what?
That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime.
Guess you have a point there.
You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster.
Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about.
Oh, Maya. Where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Uh-oh. Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere?
I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth.
Insight revised. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. Next.
Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it.
What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright?
Nick!
Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence insights have no further inadequacies of any kind.
Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction.
Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it.
Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here.
Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights.
That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abbott and me were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights.
Alright, what does story mode tell us?
Yep, you can never figure this out.
Rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the springside lantern.
So there's two. Okay, so I wonder if he turns around because while he's reading the sutra. Watch. Yeah, listen to that. Look at that brief turn. He must have turned around.
Yes.
Objection!
Objection! Your benevolence, I found a new contradiction.
You did? No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights.
Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering.
There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred.
No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue.
I fail to see your point.
My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place.
She seems pretty tickled, Nick.
I don't remember saying anything funny.
I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. O blessed Mitama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there.
All right, so this is...
Oh, it's not broken. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it.
And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire.
Oh, so that means that, but that the whole premise was that the murder took place during the transformation rite, but that's not true. If she's talking about the rite of fire, they already went through both the rite of transformation and the rite of water.
Oh,
Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering.
Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on.
That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burnt uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation.
That would never fly back home.
Well, Bobhead, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Mitama.
Nick!
Don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. All right, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Keeta's robes and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving toward her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up. I'm gonna find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya.
All right, then.
So we're going back to he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside Lantern.
Uh-oh.
Objection!
Oh, objection!
What's that now?
Well, what could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you all right, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out, and then the next you fall silent.
Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sudmati?
Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found.
Is that so?
The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight.
Does it now?
One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch what Admit Idmi saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Ms. Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Keeta, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision.
How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights?
Let me start by saying the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell Maya and Advent Inme's positions. Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here, to the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I don't believe this.
No way.
I don't buy this at all. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya really standing?
Between the broken and the other lantern.
Take that!
Take that!
Where she originally was.
I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Ms. Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom.
Hold it! Does that not bring us back to the very beginning?
No, this is where things take a different turn. And I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned toward the accused.
What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision.
Because it's blocked by his scripture. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was, in fact, turning around in that moment.
Objection!
Objection. If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
Objection! I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadmati. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error.
Such insolence!
Yeah, such insolence indeed.
A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the order of the rights,
I'd say,
I think. No, the number of people there. Yep.
There's a third party.
I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Keeta standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed.
This cannot be!
Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead.
Pull!
Pull. Pull.
Pull, Kaka!
Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime?
Have I misunderstood the voice of the Mitama yet again? This cannot be!
Claire. Whew, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Intersecting diagram updated in the court record.
Again.
Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer.
Yes, I shall place my trust in you.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
There's always something, dude. There's always something. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Sadmari?
My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls and trials lacking a seance.
Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry.
Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen.
Guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Keeta was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess, so I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. Oh boy. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this.
The warning letter.
Yeah, the warning letter.
Take that!
Take that. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual.
What?
He did? Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Keeta herself. What? Peace. I don't understand. I had heard the Lady Keeta that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the high priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the high priest had secretly been a rebel? The high priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. The high priest, a devout follower of Kuhra'inese, a rebel. Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection. The third party was the rebel hunting Lady Keeta, and the high priest was a rebel? Your mockery of Kuhra'inese, no. Of the kingdom of Kuhra'in itself knows no bounds.
Whoops.
That shameless poor cook and lawyer.
Making a mockery of our religion.
As a faithful Kuhra'inist, I take issue with these claims, and I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going.
The defense's claims are but vile blasphemy, tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother.
Is it really that big of a deal, Maya?
Abinemi was a distinguished monk and very well respected too, so yeah.
Well, listen, the priest wasn't a high monk. The priest wasn't a rebel. The person dressed as Lady Keeta was a prisoner. Let's think about that for a
Okay,
second.
all right, I
Let's
don't know.
get in the back of our heads.
Right.
Ugh, please don't let this turn into an international incident.
But fear not, good people of Kuhra'in. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged.
But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How is that possible when he had his back turned toward Miss Fey? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection. Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is as yet still in my hands.
How can he be so confident?
Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts.
But if there were only 3 people there, an eyewitness? Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand.
Let's see. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's this
oh,
guy.
this crazy bastard. It's him. It's him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I have ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation.
Oh, I'm, that's so-and-so, whatchamacallit. Yep. Anonymous TBD. At least that's what they could calling me.
Oh my god.
Not another one.
This is bad. TBD? Hasn't Toby determined? Can't you just tell us your real name?
The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is a part of his name.
Objection!
Objection! You're letting an amnesiac testify?
Have no fear. I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact.
Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Imus, please tell us what you saw.
Mr. Amos. Okay. Well, time for a little witness testimony. The night of the murder. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
Okay.
I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right of the inner sanctum.
Huh?
That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. Well,
All right.
wait a minute. How could he?
There's no way you saw Miss Fey stab the victim with a dagger.
Remember that wall?
Mm-hmm.
I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or don't remember at any rate.
Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster.
Mr. Emus.
Mr. Emus, I was wondering.
What can I do this for?
The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it? Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Remus?
On the day of the Wright, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day.
All right, let's check out the paper. Lady Keeta returns to the battlefields.
Check
The thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the Plaza of Devotion until yesterday is melted. The Wright can go on as planned. Police are asking the kingdom's subject to be on the lookout for a male insurgent. Oh, never mind.
There's no weather report yet. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Weather forecast. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight.
It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it?
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
See? Told you so.
May 9th newspaper updated in the court
It
record.
reports on the weather and Lady Keeta's activities, among other things.
Well, it would appear the witnesses offered testimony worth hearing.
Mr. Amos, I too have a question for you.
Didn't he already question the witness?
Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot.
How was the accused holding the dagger?
Ooh, good question.
How indeed?
Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand?
Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip.
Ah, I thought as much.
Hold it! Hold it right there! What bearing does that have on this case?
Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held?
Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one?
I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life.
Next life?
Yes. After your soul rise for centuries in the pits of hell, you shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter.
That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case.
Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance.
Because isn't that how, Lady Keeta holds the dagger, during the rites?
With such information, we can infer exactly what actions he took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct?
Yes.
As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important.
Blood.
The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip.
What? But that's not. No.
No, I don't buy that.
Me neither.
What?
Thus, Mr. Amos's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain.
Ha 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 ha. And that coincides with her benevolence's insights as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those insights out of the water. Now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
All right, pick this bastard apart.
What, do we grill him like a hamburger?
I don't know. What does the story tell us?
I guess so.
Night of the murder. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Mountain next to the inner sanctum.
Probably hold it there.
I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
I'd grill him at some point.
I know it's no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right of the inner sanctum. Well, maybe the poster says something about it?
The poster with the whole...
Oh, the
curtain. Objection!
Told you about the curtain.
Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy, bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him.
What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you?
Not at all, Mr. Emus. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day, specifically that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen.
Hooah!
Mr. Emus, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court?
You got me!
The witness will lower his voice.
I didn't actually see the accused herself.
He didn't actually see the accused herself? What's that supposed to mean?
Let me set the record straight. I beg you.
Oh my God, more testimony.
All right, time for a little more witness testimony. The night of the murder, amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. But the moon was directly above Mount Pony.
Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense.
She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger.
Shadows? That's what you saw?
That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain.
In the future, Mr. Emus, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start.
Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory.
Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony.
You have to be kidding me.
What are we going to do now, Nick?
All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual Wright and what Mr. Emus says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. All right,
remember, the moon was directly over Mount Pony.
Right, so how would he be able to see those shadows?
Right. Night of the murder, amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. Well, what about now? Where was the full moon? Present something.
Yep. So if we go,
no, it's the Wright's guide.
Objection!
Ha! See?
You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that's just not possible.
But what do you mean? How is it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible! Ugh.
I think I'm gonna need a logicalese translation on that. Let's take a look at this Wright's guide, shall we, Mr. Emus? The right is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Emus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony. Whoa, holy mother! That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain.
No way!
Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Emus claims to have seen.
But I did see those silhouettes, really.
But how could he, Nick?
Because he wasn't on Mount Pony Pony when he said he was. He was somewhere else. Maybe he was someplace where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Emus really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. And that would be... The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Emus really did see those shadows is he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? Someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures, naturally.
Wait, you mean...
None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Emus was at the time of the murder.
The
Inner Sanctum. Obviously. Mr. Emus was at the Inner Sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures.
Hooah!
Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that.
But wasn't the Inner Sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Sadmati would rather not touch right now. Ah, you mean... That's right! This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Keeta and killed the high priest.
Yeah!
Well, what? I mean, wouldn't he have blood on his hands, though?
Objection. No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space?
From above. Oh, he must have, I haven't thought that far ahead. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and a steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs.
Think about the prison.
Oh no, I'm with you.
His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Emus was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right?
Right! I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No, sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't.
Hold it! Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen?
I'm starting to think I've been imagining things.
What? This is insane! I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. Peace! Peace, I say! This is impossible! Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum, just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Emus.
I believe in you, Nick. Rah, rah, sis boom ba! Fight, fight, Phoenix Wright!
Just look at the accused. Is he no shame?
What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know.
She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. I wasn't the bad guy before. I definitely am now.
Now, Mr. Amos, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night.
All right,
Round 3.
a little bit more witness testimony. I wasn't at the inner sanctum.
Yeah, you were, you douchebag.
I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of, even with a fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Impossible, you say? Remember those banners?
I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but...
Now will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness?
Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there.
Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations?
A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell.
Kuhra'inese is the strictest religion ever.
And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years.
Plus the 5 they started with, that's 700 million years of torment.
Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take?
Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that?
I think you may want to grill him on one subject, but let's see what story
On how impossible it is. Yep.
I wasn't at the inner sanctum. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell ya. That much I'm sure of, even with a fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place.
Hold it. I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum.
If you have something to say, just say it.
Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention?
No, there isn't.
Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone theory, though. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention, he fell from the sky.
Yeah, there we go. See?
Maybe you fell from the sky.
Lawyer thinks he's a comedian now.
I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it.
Mr. Amos could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say.
Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow ever more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall.
You see that prison?
Uh-huh, yep. It's right at the top of the mountain. Yep. How the heck do you even get up there in the first place?
Well,
are you choppered in?
Probably. We'll find out.
Anyway.
One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the twilight realm.
Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was. Even I couldn't have made that jump.
Wait. What's this building on top of the sacred mountain?
That is Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Oh, right. Princess Rafa mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? Good question.
By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice.
There we go. They're choppered in.
He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum.
Mountain range poster updated in the court record.
Poster and photograph of the entire inner sanctum and Mount Pony Pony area.
Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found.
Not traditionally.
Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that.
Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Emus.
It's not like I can fly through the air either. Oh, yes, you can. What about the banners? They look like a parachute.
Objection! Mr. Emus is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear.
Well, now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum.
Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is.
What on earth are you talking about?
That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute.
Pokanka.
The people of Kuhra'in are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation.
No, this cannot be.
The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Emus?
There's no way out. I'm surrounded.
Mr. Emus?
All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all.
As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night.
You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all.
Thanks. Mr. Emus, you were the one disguised as Lady Keeta. You were the one disguised as Lady Keeta that night, weren't you?
What? No way, no how. It's like this. Oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident.
By accident?
Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider.
A paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material?
It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as could be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point.
Bullshit.
But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum.
So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that? No. Please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed, and it certainly warrants further explication. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony. All right, round 4.
Well, time for a little witness testimony. Why I was at the inner sanctum. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, caused me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident.
Well, something terrible didn't happen. There were clear skies. Remember?
Right.
Mr. Emus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning.
Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it now.
Continue such slipshod testimony, and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years.
Ooh, that's no good.
No way. I think I'll pass on that.
Gotta hydrate.
Oops.
Looks like that caught Prosecutor Sadmati off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds.
You heard the man. Finish this bastard off. Cross-examination time. Why was it the inner sanctum?
Looks like his beard's twitching.
Yep.
That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum, but there were clear skies, weren't there? Take a look at the weather report.
Yep.
Objection!
Oops.
Objection. Is something the matter? Sorry, that scream just sort of slipped out.
I don't know about trials in your country, but we refrain from such rash outbursts here. Perhaps this will deter any future urges you might have.
Ouch.
I'm not helping my case in the judge's eyes, both literally and figuratively.
All right, what is Storymo telling us?
Tell me more about this accident. Hold it. What exactly was this accident you had?
Good question. Now, what was it again? Wind? Oh, yeah, it was the wind. No, it was not. Not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind made me lose control.
The wind was strong enough to make you lose control?
You got that right.
Okay, then, please add that to your testimony.
Okay, now
we can get him.
Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum.
Objection!
Objection!
Gotcha.
We have a saying in my country, Mr. Emus. From one lie sprouts another.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks.
What did you just say?
You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control. But this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today.
Bukaka!
Why, I do believe it does say that.
From one lie sprouts another. That makes sense, but is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I kind of made that one up.
For real?
Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw. One that's even more fatal to his cause.
More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once.
Mr. Emus claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider, but it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind.
Why, yes, I believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Emus, how did you get there? How did you get there? And from where?
Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Emus must have launched himself from here. Take that!
Hooah! Are you insane?
But that's where he came from?
If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest.
What?
Mr. Emus, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter Lady Keeta?
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir, help me out here.
You did it! You finally left them speechless!
Not quite yet.
Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man.
Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than hangnail hell awaits you now. Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time.
That's awfully generous of him. Now he sees where these trials are going, right?
You
smell that?
Check the court record. You see that poster?
This one.
No. Keep going. The wanted poster. You see that? No, not that. That's the warning letter. I'm talking about the wanted poster. That's a rebel. Reward $3 million.
Senior member of insurgent leadership and former paratrooper of a foreign land. Wanted for crimes against the kingdom. Considered armed and dangerous. Contact authorities with any information. Uh-oh. Looks like we found our guy.
I don't know. Let's see.
But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous's true identity.
His true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer with something. It would seem I am the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man we've been calling Anonymous?
The witness's true identity is...
This man.
Is this really him?
Only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us your belated insight.
What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back?
Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case.
Really? Are you sure?
Unfortunately, I've got no other choice.
That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison, the precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper could have pulled that off. This witness is That's a Rebel, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. What?
Yeah!
No way.
How could this be?
But then it leads credence to the fact that
The witness is an escaped prisoner?
Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was, under our noses the entire time.
Hoo-ah! Didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise.
But the witness's charade is not all that has been shattered.
yep, it's the defense's case.
Is it defense?
Boy, do I hate this guy.
Please recall the defense's own words.
Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite, but the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered.
Who do you suppose sent that letter?
A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Keeta herself.
He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Keeta.
Yeah, what's your point?
What of the witness's true identity?
Only a paratrooper, or more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's a Rebel, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group.
Oh no!
He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Keeta, mortal enemy of the rebels.
Yeah, he could have.
No!
Well, hang on, it's not over yet.
Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this.
Hoo-ha! You got me. I'm the razor-sharp fangs of the defiant dragons. Huh. Huh. Eh. Huh. That's a rebound.
Whoa! When did you get your memory back?
Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no win. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head.
Are you prepared to tell us the truth now?
Well, it's true I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitnesses' testimony was a big fat lie.
A big fat lie?
Oh, and by the way, long time no see, Yudi.
What?
Huh?
Wait, they know each other?
Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell.
Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once.
Seems you really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yudi? But I haven't, and no dogs of the Kuhra'in regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Alley-oop!
Whoop! Oh, he's getting away!
Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert.
Oh boy.
Yikes. What in the world?
The escaped prisoner escaped again.
The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long.
An escaped prisoner who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker.
He really pulled a number on all of us. What was the point of all that anyway?
Well, I can't help but feel that entire episode was an enormous waste of time.
Your Majesty, perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe.
What makes you say that, Prosecutor Sadmadi?
That's a rebel dropped something as he made his escape from these halls.
Oh. That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar.
It's that giant bloodstain. There's that thing on the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Could be an order or something.
These appear to be direct orders from Dirk.
From Dirk, the rebel leader. Oh, but we only have a small corner of it.
Wait, I remember now. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before.
You have?
The scrap of paper That's a Rebel dropped is a part of this.
The bloodstained letter.
Take that.
And this is...
I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the order that Mr. Rebel dropped. If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Uh-oh. Look at that.
Oh.
Oh, my. And just what does it say, Mr. Wright?
I can't read Kuhra'inese.
Prosecutor Satmadi, if you please.
The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language? Very well, then. I do not understand.
Well, what does it say?
Using the lamplight as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Keeta's robes and make his escape.
What? That is how he was to escape from prison?
So if I were to assume that Mr. Rebel was the one who killed the high priest, then maybe it was because Abbot Idmi tried to thwart his escape plan.
Oh, foul lawyer, I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous.
Huh? But I didn't say anything. Did he just read my mind?
I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that Desiree Bell is not the High Priest's killer.
Bullshit.
How can you be so sure?
If only you would use that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. Desiree Bell's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual.
What do you mean?
I am speaking of Abbott Inme, of course. Had Desiree Bell simply donned Lady Keeta's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the High Priest's side... The faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that Desiree Bell was the High Priest's killer.
So then, you're saying the High Priest was a... Oh, I cannot bear to say it.
I am afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threatened her kingdom.
How could this be?
Huh? The High Priest? A rebel? There must be some kind of mistake!
Satula! Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes double for you, Defense. Cease your futile battle now.
And why should I?
Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated Desiree Bell from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains. The accused Maya Fey.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it right there! Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain, Defense. We can't end this trial without looking into the murder weapon. The third party. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Keeta we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't Desiree Rebel, then who was it?
Objection. That matter has already been resolved.
It has? What's he talking about?
It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
Objection! But there was another Lady Keeta there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her.
Satula!
What the? I can't do my finger point. What? But I said it was trespassing.
It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm.
This hardly seems fair.
It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides
the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbath statue.
Precisely. The Lady Keeta we saw in the seance is the Warbat statue draped in her sacred robes.
I doubt that.
No way!
The accused wanted the false Lady Keeta to appear in the seance vision. before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with a dagger in a reverse grip.
But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Keeta?
To show it to the victim as he was being slain.
And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill?
It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself.
Come again?
Suspicion would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Keeta was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise.
Are you saying?
I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. A scheme in which
She sought to use a seance vision to mislead us.
What? That makes... This can't be happening!
What a face you are making, Defense. I am surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy?
Repeat.
Something has occurred to me, you see, and your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy.
You're telling me he knew this is how it would turn out all the way back then? And that he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me?
Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time.
It can't be! This is an outrage! You took a royal priestess's sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder?
No, I did nothing of the sort.
Maya,
Nick, it's not true. I didn't.
Objection.
Objection! Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint this sacred hall.
indeed, it seems this trial is over.
Hold it!
Hold it! Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something? The accused is not the killer. And, here's why. Now what do? I've got nothing! It would appear that the defense has run out of arguments to make. I thought for sure that rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the one dressed as Lady Keeta, has vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Sadmati's argument. Damn it! I can't lose now, not like this! Very well then. I shall now render my verdict. Ah! Wait! Please wait! I'm begging you!
It is time to let it go and move on.
This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense, Phoenix Wright.
Uh-oh.
Guilty.
That was good. Oh, it's over, isn't it? Oh, no.
Oh, not like that.
It can't be.
Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but
They got him.
Wait a
I
minute.
hope so.
What is the meaning of this?
a body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty.
Oh, no.
What?
Another one.
No way.
What's this?
A body? What happened now?
And we found this sticking out of the victim.
The murder weapon!
Whoa!
Why, that's Lady Kira's warpath dagger.
Lady Keeta, she was returned for the Twilight Realm once more.
She has come to defeat the rebels.
Peace!
Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found.
I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Sadmani.
Yes?
This dagger, it bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it.
What? What? But why would Maya's prints be on it?
I cannot believe it, yet it must be true.
Is something the matter, Prosecutor Sadmani?
This trial has run its course, and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing.
I was?
You claimed that the murder at the inner sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Keeta.
I did say something to that effect, but what of it?
Prosecutor Sadmani, are you suggesting what I think you are?
I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Keeta
Is none other than the accused, Miss Maya Fey.
What?
Me?
What?
I
What?
That makes no sense.
I realize how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Keeta was first sighted about 2 years ago, and the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well.
And she's holding the dagger in her hand right now. In that photo.
Why, the timing matches perfectly.
But there is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
Objection! How does that prove anything?
Objection! It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there, mainly to prepare for the purification rite.
Abbot Enemy was an important figure with a ton of duties, including training acolytes. He was really kind, even to a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I was between training sessions.
The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing.
No! Lady Kira's warning updated in the court record.
Warning from Lady Keeta to Abbot Enemy. Only someone capable of entering the priest's home could have delivered it.
Hey, wait a second. You want to know who else could come into Abbot Ennemy's house? His wife. Oh, no. But let me ask you this. Why? If this theory is to have any credence whatsoever, why would Abbot Ennemy's wife kill her own husband?
I don't know about that, but we need to prove that.
Unless she was the rebel.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. But
Right.
listen, gotta prove it. And you know what? It's just conjecture at this point. But you know what?
Oh boy.
It's getting crispy,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
If we assume that the accused was Lady Keeta, that more than That more than establishes her motive for killing the high priest.
Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent, bent on helping Dazo Rebel escape after all.
Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the high priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So, it seems the scope of this case has expanded.
Here's the problem, dumbass. Maya Fey's been sitting in court this whole time, and yet there was another body found with Lady Kira's dagger in it. So it couldn't possibly have been Maya that killed this other person.
Whatever. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Ms. Maya Fey masquerading as Lady Kira.
Impossible.
No.
I don't believe it.
Nope.
Not one.
Doesn't
bit.
make sense.
If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe this second murder must be investigated before we can proceed.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
I knew it. We're going to be digging around some more.
Yep.
Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with this second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins.
A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict?
It seems the defense will live to see one more day.
Talk about hanging on by a thread.
Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you.
I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned.
Oh boy.
Yikes,
Man,
bro.
we are in it deep.
Man, listen. To be continued. We're gonna hang it up for now.
Yep. Perfect time to hang it up.
Absolutely, guys. Well,
So
let's,
we'll save our current progress.
And yep. Tune in next week, folks, to the investigation of the second murder.
Yeah, who's the victim and how was he killed? And, you know, obviously Maya didn't do it because if the killer was adorned in Lady Kira's robes, then obviously Maya didn't do it.
No, it wasn't her.
So we can get to the bottom of this case, but you know something? I smell plot with a capital P-U. So, until next time, friends, I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers, and we are for real. Top
Top guys
guys out. Ciao.
Adios.